What's up, guys? The red light is on. Man, the original, the OG Pete White. This is how we started, man. Years and years and years and ages ago. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Doing good, man. So funny. So before we kind of get into Friday night and all of that, Ryan Quinn, our mutual friend, he
That's my
contacted
buddy.
me. Yeah, he contacted me over the last week, and he's like, he's starting to do something. I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And he wanted me to come on, so I just talked to him for 30 minutes. And it was weird me being the interviewee. And of course, the question goes, he's like, how did you get started? I'm like, well, okay. It all comes down to Pete White. I told him the whole story. I was talking about basketball and NASCAR and football.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man. I was like, I got to get into this MMA side, this fight game. And it all kind of started with you, man. So appreciate you like always.
Two of my favorite people. I know Ryan a long time. Ryan's a great kid, man, and I'm glad to see him doing stuff. And I thought it was the most amazing thing to see you on the other side. That was awesome. So
crazy.
It's great. You're always the one drilling everybody else or trying to make everybody else present. And I'm glad to see somebody doing it for you. You deserve
it. Appreciate that.
So.
All right. Really, I think it was great news. I was super happy. Our brother in arms, right? John Radford called me over the weekend, said, hey, this might be something. And with me being in Daytona and Orlando, like I really wanted to get there. We made it happen. I can't wait. I'll be there live Friday night. Yeah. But kind of give me the synopsis and then wherever you want to take it. The platform's absolutely yours, and let's kind of run with it.
All right. So I get the call from a mutual friend about PFL this Friday night. It's the welterweight tournament. I get this call 2 weeks ago, and they're needing an alternate to fill in case somebody falls off.
Right.
Let's throw Chis Mixan in the mix. I said, done. Make it happen. Without any question, and then I contacted Chris and let him know. Of course, he was all about it. So now Chris is on the card as the alternate. And if anybody falls out, he slips in.
Yep.
He gets paid just to make weight, whatever it is. And then, otherwise he steps up and he fights. I guess this is an 8-man.
I was a little upset. I wanted that gig. Get some money to make weight. I wanted that gig.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to make 170 for that money, but so he goes and, we said, okay, good to go. So the very next day, I get the call from PFL. All right, so-and-so is out. We need Mixon to slide in. I says, okay. I said, well, let me see who else, because now you're going to need another alternate. I said, who's the opponent? And they're like, Lucas Barbosa.
Yeah. Really good jiu-jitsu guy.
Very big name in jiu-jitsu. So I said, well, at this level, we don't pick our opponents, any of that stuff. We just got to fight who we got to fight. So I said, okay, I got another. I had submitted Nathan Pierce in for 185, but then come back that they're not doing a 185 division.
Okay.
So I called Nate. I says, Nate, can you make 170? He says, well, it'll be close, but we'll do it. And because he's been with me for about 4 or 5 months now. Kid's an amazing kid. He's very talented. He fit right into the family whole thing here, and he gave up his whole life, sold his house, everything in Louisville, and moved here just to be with us. So, I'm really all in on it. So I called Chris, I called Nate, and then I told him, I says, all right, I'll put Nate in, leave Chris on the reserve list, or on the, the alternate list, and he could fill in if something happens. But I made them both very aware. I says, very well could be if somebody else falls out, you guys could be fighting each other in the final.
Right.
And I says, you're okay with that, because knowing the way things go in my life, you're absolutely, it's already locked in. 2 weeks out, you're going to fight each other, because that's just the way everything goes for me. So I made sure that they were both aware of it. They're both said, listen, we got to take the opportunity and run with it. I didn't force nobody into this. I didn't tell them this is what you're doing. I gave them both the opportunity, and I says, be aware that it's probably going to happen. Sure than hell, 2 days ago, I get the call. 3 days ago, Barbosa's out. Now it's Mixon versus Nathan. So they're both in Orlando. They've been there since Monday. I'm heading down there shortly. They weigh-ins tomorrow morning, and then they fight each other on Friday.
Yeah.
But it's not. When we get to this level, this is what any fighter's fighting for. They're fighting for this opportunity to fight for the big money. They're fighting for the opportunity to get with a big promotion. PFL is UFC, PFL.
Yeah.
Those are my top two. Bellator comes in behind that, and then whatever. But and then we always have the ultimate goal to be on Masvidal's Icon or Pettis's new show. So
Dean railed me. You see that? He railed me.
I know.
Oh, man.
So these guys are down there. They're doing their thing. They're kind of separated down there in their own rooms and everything. John went down last night. He worked them both out separately. Yeah. I'm going to go down and work them out, tonight or this afternoon and help with the weight cuts and get them ready for tomorrow morning's weigh-ins. But these, like I said, Chris has been with us for a long time. And I love Chris like he's my own son. Nate's only been with me for about 4 or 5 months, but you know what? I love him just as much as I love Chris. It's just the way it is. You're under my roof. You're all my kids. You're all my family and everything else. So there's no who's taking sides, who's picking who. I don't allow that, or I don't tolerate that in my gym. These guys all train together. They all work together. They coach each other. They coach, get coaching from us and all that stuff. So it's not about who's going to go in there and who's going to coach who's going to do this, going to do that. John's going to go sit in Chris's corner. I'm going to go sit in Nate's corner. Okay. And the only thing that I could say to him is go in there and fight like it's the last fight of your life. Put on the greatest performance you can ever. Maybe you both get a contract.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Leave it all in there.
Right. All right, so kind of, me, I got 8 positive questions, and sure. That's me, that's the route I always take, especially with you, right? But I do want there's like the one devil's advocate question, the one question. So if you're in each other, like kind of in the corner, as much as, I know the history, the length of Chis Mixan, his highest highs and his lowest lows and what's the best thing and against thing. Is it hard to say, hey, Nathan, maybe Chris is bad at, taking down this or he doesn't do the jab. He doesn't stop the jab. Whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? Is it, what do you say when someone says that to you, like to go back? Or is it just like kind of almost get off the details and get off the game plan and just like, hey, men, fight it out. The best wins. And hopefully God bless both of them.
So when these guys, like Chris has been around with us since the beginning.
Yeah.
I've been through all of his fights, and Nathan's he's got over 20 amateur fights plus his 4 professional fights. He's got a lot of experience. There's no need. These guys train together, they spar together, they go together, they do everything together. Yeah. There's no need for me to point anything out. These guys are professional athletes. They should already know what they need to capitalize on and what they need to work on. There's no need for me to go in there and say, hey, you got to do this or you got to do this. These guys already know. It's essentially who pulls it off and works for it harder. That's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? It's gonna and I mean it could be one lucky punch, it could be one takedown, it could be whatever. We don't know. It's because it's come that close. And in training, these guys are they're animals in training. They give it to each other. So this is going to be a good one. This could be a fight of the night situation here.
I love that. Now, kind of, I'm going to go the exact opposite because I've been hearing some stuff too, and I just want to say this. So to me, I want to bring an analogy into it. So imagine 2 guys, 2 regular men, right? And they want to be a bank manager, right? And they're 2 guys that work at the same branch, and they make $40,000 a year as this, assistant to the assistant.
Yeah.
And then the spot opens up for $200,000 for the manager of the whole branch, and both men get the opportunity to go into that room and to interview. Both men would do it. Like I heard, oh, maybe they shouldn't do it. I'm like, why would they not take the biggest opportunity in their professional career? To me, it's mind blowing. I don't get that concept of people that said they shouldn't do it.
So for people who are saying that are people that don't know shit about this business.
Right.
You're getting an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
How could you just walk away?
Yeah.
You can't. And listen, I give these kids all the props in the world. This is the hardest thing they're going to have to do is going to have to fight each other.
Good point.
You know, and I know it's going to be awkward afterwards. It's going to be awkward around the gym for a while or whatever. But I expect them both, whoever wins, whoever loses, or if it's a draw or whatever, they get up and pat each other on the back, tell each other they love them, and get back to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's one thing about this is no matter what happens, I always create opportunities. Always. It's them that have to capitalize on the opportunity or blow the opportunity. That's what it comes down to is them. So, but for people sitting back, oh, I can't believe this guy's going to fight this guy and their teammates and this and that. Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that bullshit. You know what? Did you see Usman tell Burns no or vice versa?
Right.
Stop it. You know what I mean? This is where we're after. We're trying to get to the top tier. So you got to fight.
Yeah.
So
1,000%. Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Does it suck? Yes, it sucks, but you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Right. So kind of just put a bow on the whole thing. So Friday night, Orlando, Florida, loving kind of staying in town. You don't have to sleep at another hotel, all of that nature. What a huge opportunity. The PFL, I was down there for the finals. I think it was November, October of last year. They put everything up, like $1 million payouts. They paid over around $5 million that night. I talked to so many of the fighters. They love working under the PFL banner. They take care of the fighters. They tell them what's going to happen. They pay them extremely well. This is it. Like, this is a huge opportunity for both of them.
I have nothing bad to say about PFL. Not last season, the season before. I was there, had a fighter competing in the finals of PFL. I was in Madison Square Garden on New Year's Eve, and the hotel room was on the penthouse floor on the top, overlooking the Empire State Building, overlooking Times Square, overlooking Madison Square Garden, sitting right there by myself, sitting outside on the balcony, watching the ball drop, the whole 9 yards. I was in the locker room with Mike Tyson, with everybody else, with Cruz and all those guys. They were, everybody was there. So, and I stood in the halls of Madison Square Garden, behind the scenes in the back halls, and I stood there by myself for a couple minutes. I looked around and I'm like, this is like the apex of my career right now. This is like, people have walked through these halls that are just echo in time as legends of everything. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, everybody somebody that's fought in Madison Square Garden have stood in those halls. And I'm like, I just took it in for a few minutes and it was just amazing. But PFL spares no expense.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're top level. They're right up there with the UFC. The pay grade is right there. The same thing, even more to the champions and stuff. So I mean, this is great. I'm really excited for these kids. They're just getting a really amazing opportunity, and it's in our backyard.
Yeah, I got
going to Universal. It's a closed studio, so I guess the fights are only being aired, so it's not open to the public to come and watch or anything like that. So everybody that I know, my family and everybody else, will be walking around Universal with their passes on their rides while they're waiting for everybody to come out with the win or whatever happens.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I've as soon as I saw that it was going to be Mixon involved with it, I kind of made a couple phone calls, and I was lucky enough. Yeah, they're literally giving out like 6 passes, and Dave Van Auken with Fight Bananas got one of them. So I'm so pumped to be there.
How could they deny you, the apex of media, on this? Ariel Helwani should be second in line. You know what I mean? Even though I love Ariel.
Good. That guy's pretty good. So last fun question I got for you. Yeah. Maybe backstage, you're walking around, you accidentally bump into Ray Lewis. What are you going to say to Ray Lewis?
If I see him, I'll say, hey, what's up, Ray? That's about it. If he asks for a picture, maybe I'll let him have one.
Man, what a legend. I'm such a big fan of Ray Lewis, and just like
pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, he played football how it should be played, all heart, all guts. Man, love the guy. Can't wait.
No mercy. No mercy. That's the way it's got to be.
There we go. So, hey, anything else or you think we nailed it?
Nah, I think we got it. Cool. We get the point across pretty much. Don't feel bad for these guys. Don't feel this or why or this and that or why are they doing this. They both asked for this. I provided the opportunity through my connections. And we're gonna make the best of the situation and get it done. And we're thankful for the opportunity.
There we go.
I'm thankful for you always.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. Friday night, Chis Mixan, Nathan Pierce, PFL Challenger Series. This could be the beginning of one of them becoming a millionaire. That's not bad.
And even if whichever one doesn't get through Friday night, we'll get them back in there against somebody again somehow. And but these kids are both worth it. So
there we
it's going to be a good time.
Sounds good, my man. Pete, appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon. See you.